Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I finished this during the booktubeathon and I had so many thoughts and I finally have enough time to film a video, hopefully expressing all the thoughts I have thought of. This book follows Scout, who is a girl who is 8 or 9 in Alabama in the 1930s. It follows her and her brother as they have their summer adventures and they go to school and just life in that area at the time. The dad, Atticus Finch, is a lawyer, and eventually there's a plot that becomes part of their lives where he has to defend a African-American man who has been accused of rape. This book is a classic for a reason. It is an American classic for a reason, and I don't know why I waited so long to read it. Not only is it jam-packed full of important discussions, very thoughtful ideals, but also it was just very entertaining to read. Scout's narration was amazing. As I was reading it, I was amazed how a 9-year-old could sound so grown up, but also like a 9-year-old at the same time. It was just this perfect combination. I loved the narration. She was just so full of life, like she came off the pages, and it's been a while since I read a narrator who really leaped out at me, and Scout really did that. Because this is a classic and everyone and their mother has read this, I'm not gonna really hold back any more spoilers, so if you've not read this, stop watching if you don't want spoilers. This book smells really nice. Obviously this book has a lot to do about race, and I think that's the most important issue, at least right now. When I started this, it was right before booktubeathon, and that was the week that that police shooting happened. All those like extreme things are coming up in the news, things that happen every day, but they were just coming out in the news and the main news outlets and getting a lot of attention. Reading this book as all these events were happening and getting discussed and talked about everywhere, like my parents discussed it, people I worked with discussed it, I was on the news, I was on Twitter, I was everywhere. It was just very, like, what a coincidence. I don't want to use that word, but I think that's the only word that really fits right now, and I think for that reason that's why this book was so important, because obviously these issues are tough and we need to talk about how our justice system is so not equal, and as far as race is concerned or class is concerned. A few weeks ago, my friend Emma Tobias shared a video of another booktuber who I'll put down below, pretty much asking booktube why we weren't talking about all this police brutality and all this inequality, like so blatantly not what America's about. And then Emma made a video kind of discussing that, and I wanted to, but I was too scared to. And then after finishing this book, I realized that I need to talk about this. We need to fix this. It's 2016. These were issues that were written about, when was this book written? This book was written in 1960, and in history we're taught that that was the peak of this problem. That was when Martin Luther King Jr. was doing his speeches, when there was rallies, when there was marches, but that's wrong. It's still happening. There's rallies and marches for a good reason, because they're not being heard, and we need to hear them. We need to change the system, and one thing I learned about this book is that you gotta, no matter how scary it is, you gotta stand up, and I feel like I'm in such this like little bubble because I'm up here in Alaska where these things don't really get here because we're so isolated. Like, we watch it on TV, but it never happens here, and I'm thankful for that, but I'm also not thankful for that because it took a book that was written in 1960 for me to realize I need to help change this as much as I can. And part of that is talking to your local government and your senators and your state government and all of that. So I'm gonna try and put more of an effort, and I hope you guys too. And I'm not gonna be saying I'm sorry for that little side note, but end of that little side note for now. Obviously the race issue and equality issue, and this is so prevalent and important, but also I had a lot of questions about the whole accusing someone of rape, because that's also very prevalent to my society, because I go to school in Missoula, Montana, which is very famous for a lot of rape accusations and rape that has not gone justly, like they didn't get in trouble for it, that sort of thing, and I'm not okay with it. For this plot, he was innocent, but he got charged as guilty of crying wolf. That bugged me because that's a whole another part of our society that we need to look at and to fix. Like, we should trust people when they say that they are raped. We should trust them. And that kind of bugged me about it, and that was another topic I really want to discuss with someone. On a lighter note, I loved Calpurnia. I loved how Atticus just let her be the mother figure, and it didn't matter that she was their kitchen's cook. It didn't matter that she was a black lady. It just mattered that she loved the kids and she wanted them to be the best kids. And when she took them to her church with her, I thought that was such a nice scene. There's like a clash of cultures, and obviously Scout like loved it because she's a little firecracker. but you could see how Jem was uncomfortable with it and how California stood up for them. It was just like a mama bear kind of moment, and it was really endearing. The whole Dill plotline, like, I don't understand just how he was always like, we're gonna get married, and you know, Scout was like, nah man, I'm 9, we're not gonna get married. And obviously that had to do with kind of like this semi-feministic undertones that are in this book. I don't know if there really are. I kind of want to go and read some articles of people who have dissected this, because I'm sure that has been dissected to the ends of the earth. I really liked the whole Boo Radley idea, because it's such a little kid thing to think that your neighbor is, you know, hiding a monster. It was had a very Goonie-esque appeal to it. I wonder if Spielberg was like, there's this small plot line in To Kill a Mockingbird that I'm gonna kind of use in my great 80s movie starring future Samwise Gamgee. Boo Radley ended up being a big part of the story because he kind of saved the kids. I didn't ever say that, but I think he definitely saved the kids. And I liked that whole idea of him putting the stuff in the tree, and it was less very sad, but really, I don't know, the word I guess is endearing. If you didn't already guess from all my talking and raving, this book made me think, and it's been a while since a book really made me think. By that I mean a book that really made me analyze like I would for a class. Like, I want to write essays on this right now. Like, I want to reread this, I want to just tear it apart, and it's been a while since I read a book like that, like since, you know, May when my semester ended. I watched the movie with my parents. I absolutely loved it, though they did shorten it and took a lot of my favorite parts away from it. And I mean, it makes sense because it's a movie. You can't put a whole book in a movie. It's very difficult to do. The beginning titles for the movie was had Scout like humming, like in her like little kid humming, and then her like playing with a box of like little gadgets and miscellaneous crayons and whatever else. It was so cute, and I just thought it was a really good movie. The kid actors were the perfect amount of good actors and kids, so you knew that they were really trying to be serious, or they were really trying to remember their lines and their marks, and it was really cute. And Atticus Finch was just how I pictured him. I loved it. I highly recommend you guys read this for all the reasons I've said before and many more. It made me think, it's important, it's a fun read. It's hard to get a fun read for the summer, like a summer fun read, and also a book that makes you think in good ways, and it did a great job, and no wonder this is such a wonderful American classic book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I added it to my favorites bookshelf. I liked it from A to B. I liked the ending. I liked it how it's all compacted. I don't have any questions. I don't think I need to read Go Set a Watchman. Maybe when I'm 50 and bored, I'll read it. Future Janessa, if you still have a YouTube channel when you're 50, please read it and rewatch this video. What's the likelihood of that happening? If you read this, please let me know what you think down below. I'd love to discuss this more. Obviously, I have so many thoughts on it. I could have made a bigger, longer video, but I wrote all my notes down and I lost a piece of paper that had all my, you know, notes that were actually concise, and hopefully this made sense. Sorry if it didn't. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you soon, I guess.